This is the weekend when it feels like club rugby is properly beginning. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is when the club rugby season should have started, rather than in the middle of the rugby championship, but quite late in September. Either they should have started it right at the start of September, or they should have started it this weekend when the rugby championship is done and we have got nothing else to drag our attention away, because it's been a bit of a soft launch for the URC and the Premiership. There's not really been a lot of eyeballs on it and a lot of interest in it because of all the other rugby that's been going on. But it feels like it's cooking now because the international stars are coming back into their teams. We're going to start seeing them build up to full strength. There's some really tasty matchups this weekend, so I'm going to go through the URC and the Premiership. Let me know your thoughts in the chat down below. Give the video a thumbs up and hit subscribe. And the URC, some tasty games. Tasty games. Munster v Edinburgh is tonight's action, and Scarlets against Stormers. Munster, no Jack Crowley, but they do have JJ Hanrahan in. I wonder if... Has he had a knock? I haven't had a chance to look into it, but I know obviously the big game next week is going to be Leinster against Munster. That's going to be huge. So I wonder if there's just keeping things on a simmer and just making sure some of their biggest names are available for that one. Munster at home are always tough, and they've started in a workmanlike fashion. Edinburgh always tend to struggle on the road. They've got a really good team. They've got to put it together. I'd probably go home win, but not by a lot. I don't know what the conditions are going to be like with that one. Edinburgh didn't play last week, did they? Obviously, because of the storm, that got called off. The other Friday night game, Scarlets against Stormers. Sasha Feinberg and Gomazulu, Sasha FM, my favourite radio station, Lisan Al Gaib, and Damien Willemser are back in the Stormers lineup. You know, Sasha FM did it in Durban, but you know that old phrase, can he do it on a cold, wet night in Wednesday night in Stoke? Can he do it on a cold, wet Friday night in Llanelli? We're going to find out. And I would also mention Dion Faree. What a man. 39 years of age. He had a broken leg in April in that game against Connacht, and he's back again. I was sure he would this time retire, but what an absolute inspiration. 39 years of age, and he's back, and he's on the bench for the Stormers. That is... I don't care about the result. That is just one of the stories of the weekend for me. So, fair play, Brannas. And then on to Saturday's games. The Battle of the Lions. Got the Lions from Johannesburg up against Benetton. The two logos that feature lions in them. And Benetton off of a good win last week. And I think they're going to be a home win. I think Stormers might be the only away win in the competition this weekend. Although Zebre have got an opportunity against Ospreys. No Jack Morgan in that team. And obviously the disarray going on in Welsh rugby. I wonder how much that's going to either galvanise the teams or actually make it difficult for them. Glasgow will beat Dragons at home. They've changed a few players from last week. Leinster v the Sharks is a pretty spicy matchup at the Aviva Stadium. You've got some of the box back. Ethan Hooker in a back three. A really exciting looking back three. Makazole Mapimpi, Ethan Hooker and Edwill van der Merwe. But no Ebenet Sabeth and some of the other bigger names. Bongi and Vincent Koch on the bench. And for Leinster, Josh van der Fleer is skipper. James Lowe is in the side. Jamie Osborne comes back in. You've got Harry Byrne stepping into 10 instead of Sam Prendergast. Furlong and Kelleher as well. So not en masse, the British and Irish Lions and Irish internationals, but enough of them that I think Leinster will probably do a job against the Sharks, although that is a really, really fun game to watch. That's the one I'm going to keep an eye on, I think. As well as Ulster against Bulls. I'm glad those two games are on at different times because I really want to watch Ulster against the Blues. I haven't actually got the Bulls team. Did I say Blues? Bulls team at this exact moment, although they previously announced their touring squad was going to include Ruan Norkia and Wilco Lowe and Marco van Staden and who else are we talking? Steenekamp and Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Pollard and Moody. Are they going to play against Ulster? I would love it. Ulster are looking more robust now. I'm more confident in them. And with Joano Augustus, that just changes the dynamic of their pack. Angus Bell will even more when he comes in. That could be a game changer of a signing. And their back three is big and quick. Stockdale, Balakoon and Zach Ward. I like it. That's going to be a really, really interesting game. I'd say that could be an away win as well. Although Ulster at Ravenhill, one of my favourite places to go and watch. Sorry, the Affidia Stadium. Not having it. It's Ravenhill all day long and always will be. And finally at the Arms Park, Connacht going to Cardiff. Connacht still without Bundy and Mac Hansen. But really fun games. And with the big names coming back in, it just starts to feel that little bit more interesting, doesn't it? We've got a way to go yet. I imagine Leinster and Munster are going to be full bore next weekend. We will see. Can the teams do it on the road? I will probably go for Stormers and the Bulls. Maybe Connacht could win away. Zebre could win away. Actually, it's much more open than I thought, to be honest. Moving over to the Premiership. And this should have been the first weekend of games in the Premiership. I mean, this is how you launch a season. The last 2 weeks has gone under the radar way too much. The rugby's been good, but it just has not been talked about enough. The international rugby's gone. Start with a bang. Derby weekend. All the big names in. Boom. And we're away. So you've got the King of the North being the battle at Sale. That's probably the least sexy game at the newly named Corpac Stadium, with the backdrop of the industrial Barton Bridge and the Salford sewage works on a Friday night. And that's why it's a difficult place to go. And Newcastle, I don't think, are going to chalk up their first win. George Ford just signed a 3-year contract. That's a home win all day long. Bristol Bears is interesting with all their injuries. Lewis Rees-Zammit being the latest, but Gabriel Ibitoye, AJ McGinty, they are threadbare in their backline. Exeter Chiefs, this is a bit of a test of how far they've come. They've got a big old unit of a pack. They've still got Lenny Katow and Tom Hooper to come into the team in a month's time or so. That's going to be a fun game. I'd probably just edge for a home win, but that's going to be a fun game to watch. And then you've got the spiciest game of the weekend, the East Midlands Derby, Northampton Saints with Finn Smith, with all their Lions, Tommy Freeman, Henry Pollock is on the bench. You've got Alex Mitchell is back in there. Fraser Dingwall comes back in. And they're up against the old rivals. There's always a bit of handbags in this one. And I'm hoping there will be. And Leicester, led by Ollie Chesham, will come and want to rattle some cages. They've got a big old pack that they've named. I think I'm going to go for a home win there. And I think Northampton, with good conditions, could shred Leicester a little bit in the back line. Leicester don't quite look the side they were last year. They've cut their cloth a little bit, lost players like Pollard and Montoya. We'll see what they can do. There's going to be a lot of emotion in that one, so that'll be well worth a watch. Bath Gloucester, this has been and is those iconic blue and white hoops and red and white hoops. Big game. I just only see this going one way because look at the team. Finn Russell comes in for Bath. Santi Carreras comes in for Bath. Will Stewart comes in for Bath. Thomas Dutoy on the bench for Bath, to name a few. They are absolutely stacked, and they're up against a Gloucester team that are not spending anywhere near the salary cap and have a few injuries to make their job even more difficult. That is going to be a home win. Quins against Saracens. Now, this is a rivalry I love because Harlequins I've always viewed this as their big rivalry. When Saracens were winning all of the competitions that there were, it was almost like Saracens were just like, yeah, you're not even enough for us to worry about that we think it's a rivalry. The rivalry was kind of going in one direction. Rest assured, Harlequins have won a premiership in recent years since the Saracens dynasty, and Saracens and Harlequins do not like each other one bit. They detest each other. It is personal when they play each other, and bragging rights are all important. What a brilliant way to finish the weekend on Sunday afternoon. Quins Saracens. Interesting to see Chandler Cunningham South at number 8. Ben Earl back in for Sarries. Lucio Cinti on the wing. Juan Martin Gonzalez on the bench. So we've got superstars all over the place in the Premiership. And this is why, the Prem. And this is why this should have been the opening weekend. Or else they should have just started it at the start of September and just got on with it. But I'm glad we've got to this point where we are seeing the best names in great teams, and it should be a really good run of games. So I'm going to go wins for Sale, Bristol, Northampton, Bath, and Saracens being the lone away win. That'd be my predictions. Let me know yours, and I'll see you on the next one. Bring on the rugby.